What if I told you that the best move for black here is to simply sacrifice a pawn, give away a pawn for free? Why? Because that's how you unleash your army, your black pieces now ready to attack and to checkmate the white king. Well, it's not going to happen straight away, but it's important to understand why very often giving away a pawn opens up the lines, diagonals for your bishops, for your rooks, etc. So let's have a look here. Everything seems to be complicated, right? On the king side, we've got the black pieces amassed here. We got these guys already super actively looking towards the white king. Now, there is one little element here. How do we disrupt the white pawn structure defending the white king? Because we need to get there. Well, there is a pawn sacrifice. Boom. The f5 to f4. And it looks like, wait a minute. Why would you do that, you would say? Can't you see the e4 is already hanging? I mean, why do you give that guy? What if they take with a bishop and they attack your queen? There is so many questions. But there is an answer. Once we sit down, look at a position. I hope you don't do bullet. And you focus, calculate, and choose the best path. Now, what does that do for black? Well, invites another piece to the party into attacking. One. Secondly, it disrupts the G file. So that one is a very critical point for white. It's a weak point there because if they capture, it's a disaster. The invitation being the queen on the G and the bishop. So now we're going to look at three main responses white may give here. And they're ranging from, say, bishop takes e4, say, knight takes e4, say, G takes f4. We're going to look at these three ideas. G takes f4 now. Well, this is very bad for white. Because as we said previously, the white queen already on the G pins the G2 bishop absolutely. You can't move that guy. Impossible. So, bishop takes on h3. Pressure on the pin piece. So that's another concept. The G2 bishop cannot move. There is only one way for them to respond this. If they mess about, it's queen takes G2 checkmate. That's that. So they must play something like knight to e1. But that's already too late. Why? Because we're going to be playing now immediately knight takes f4. What does that do? Adds another attacker on the absolutely pinned piece. That is the bishop on g2. So the knight attacks. Three attackers, two defenders. They got an issue here. Now, they might respond with bishop takes, which kind of makes sense. You're removing the attacker, right? But that's not going to solve white's problems because rook on f, then they're going to play rook to f4. The plan being rook g4, and then again, we've got three attackers on g2 and can't be defended. Everything collapses here for white in this position. Let's go back and look at another move that white could have played here. So let's assume bishop takes c4, right? Which attacks the black queen. You don't move the queen away. Leave the queen where they are, and remember, we need to invite all of our pieces to attacking. So bishop to f5 now defends the queen, but doesn't just defend the queen. It does more. You already got a super strong battery looking towards b1. And if you say now, yeah, but they just remove your bishop, right? They're not going to let you capturing them. Yes, of course, they take it. Then rook takes f5, and you would say, maybe some of you would think now, wait a minute, there is a fork. You've forgotten about the fork. There is the pawn, g3 goes to g4. Oh boy, yeah, they might do that, but it's already incredibly weakening for white, because now we're going to sack an exchange. We'll not just randomly give away pieces at this stage. We'll just clear the way in between our attacking pieces and the white king, which is more and more exposed. Now we're threatening a discover check. This is so serious. White should resign here, really, because after queen g4, they can only go over to the h. It doesn't matter where, because h3 and the checkmate is unstoppable, given the rook now that delivers the final blow. So, beautiful to understand this. Let's look at the last idea that white might be playing, and that is knight to e4. So let's just say knight to e4. But then again, we have that bishop on c8 that was just simply invited to becoming active after we pushed the pawn forwards. And now bishop to f5, double pressure on the e4, assuming they moved the knight. So assume they just played the knight. By the way, this is very bad, but just imagining they played the knight somewhere, you already got a battery. You're going to be taking on c2 a piece. You're going to be attacking the queen. they're not going to give you the queen, right? So they go the queen on e1, maybe, and then you're going to capture the rook as well. Disaster. From a material point of view, white had already lost. Now, let's say they play f3 to reinforce that knight, right? But now our pieces have been unleashed. Knight takes g3. Again, attacking, most importantly, rooks being hit. And we attack the knight, and it's a lot of pressure here. If they capture, again, back to the initial idea, don't rush to take the knight. You can take the knight later because you're going to be creating a bigger threat now. Bishop takes on c2, attacks the queen, attacks the rook. Assuming queen moves away, you're going to take that rook for free. And not just you take the rook for free, they still need to be dealing with the pressure on the g3 knight. I hope you guys appreciate the exercise we've done this here today together, guys, and you understand how important it is to consider, of course, a calculated, wise pawn sacrifice for the attack to increase your piece's activity and to go towards your opponent's king. We're going to see you guys with the second installment of the series in the next couple of days. In the meantime, subscribe to this channel, share it, and we'll see you soon. Thank you.